The year's 2013. You're staying up late with the homies playing Black Ops 2 Zombies, and you're looking for the perfect weapon to come out of that mystery box so you could pack-a-punch it and make it to round 29 before your mom makes you go to bed because, you know, you had your chicken nuggies 2 hours ago and it's a school night. The gun you're looking for, if you can't get a ray gun, is this, the RPD. One of the drippiest in comm-block light machine guns. Iconic video game weapon for you fellow nerds out there, and chambered in the lovely 7.62 by 39 cartridge, just like Mikhail intended. Or, well, Degtyarev in this case. Either way, let's shoot it. Yeah, I could kill so many Nazi zombies with this fucking thing. How's it going, guys? Today we're gonna do a breakdown on the RPD. Sorry, channeling my inner Grantham a little bit, but we are actually going to be doing a breakdown on the RPD, Soviet light machine gun, chambered in 7.62 by 39. So, as I mentioned, we're doing a breakdown on the RPD, or the Ruchnoy Pulmyot of Degtyarev. Sue me, I'm not Russian. Loosely translating to the handheld machine gun of Degtyarev. Now, if you remember Degtyarev, he's a big Soviet weapons designer, really good at machine guns. We did a video on the DPM, or the DP-28, also known as the dinner plate. One of his better known machine guns, right up there with the iconic Dishka, which I do own. Machine guns are in a constant state of being fucking broken. We'll get more into that later. Now, if you'd like to see a video on the Dishka, go ahead and subscribe, because I have one, and we're going to do a video on the Dishka. Maybe mounting it to the back of Donut's Hilux. We're doing our part to make sure he can terrify his local HOA. Anyhow, point being, Degtyarev was a legendary weapons designer around World War II era in Russia. That's when he cranked out this bad boy. That sounded like he was jerking off. I don't know why I said that. You see, a lot of people see the RPD, they see the wood furniture, they know it's of Russian origin, and they see it shooting 7.62 by 39, and they think, oh, okay, so this is just like a belt-fed AK. No, not really. Actually, this shares very little other than caliber with the AK. The RPD actually predates the AK by several years. This thing was designed in, I think, 1943 to 1944. Then after World War II, Kalashnikov rolled around and then essentially changed weapons design forever.
I don't want to oversell it, but it changes you forever.
But even though Kalashnikov came around and, you know, created the AK and then later on the PKM and such, and basically, you know, replaced most of Soviet weapons at that time, the RPD still did see a lot of use and heavy manufacturing, especially in China and Poland. This particular gun I'm holding actually being a gun that was manufactured originally in 1960 in Poland. You can see there with the Circle 11 stamp, that's a Polish arms factory. So that should make all you Polish fans happy, because I know you guys have been asking me for a fucking Beryl video forever, and it's just, I don't know if it's ever gonna happen. Maybe it'll happen, we'll see. But today you get an RPD as a treat. I do wish this gun was an original full Polish machine gun. However, this is a semi-auto weapon that was manufactured by DSA, I believe. DSA took a lot of the RPDs that came in, the RPD parts kits, and then turned them into semi-automatic rifles for civilian sale. Then SOTs would come around and then convert them back to machine guns. So guns that had been converted from full auto parts kits to semi-automatic rifles were then being converted back into fully automatic rifles, which, you know, sometimes has varying levels of success. And this is an example of that. Basically, this gun has been primed to explode. I'll get into that later. But you know what probably won't explode? Tac Pack. Tac Pack! So let's go ahead and see what's in the September Tac Pack Plus. They say it's a $300 value for 139 bucks. Let's see. Got a Gerber knife for me to forget I have when I go to the airport and have to throw it away. AR-15 M-LOK handguard. Battle Arms Tim-coated AR-15 BCG. That's actually kind of dope. M-LOK hand stop for your M-LOK handguard. Reptilia pistol grip. Big motherfucking karambit for you to intimidate fat kids with when you talk about velociraptors. Also that I'll forget at the airport. My Ambi Vice t-shirt. All right, retro wave shit is in and it's hot and I don't care who says otherwise. Two-stage AR trigger group. There's just like a whole fucking AR in this bag, huh? Hand-drawn picture of me on cardboard as the champ with his, yeah. And the only thing separating you from all this is not clicking the links down in the description, and you can even use the code AKGUY to get a free box of tactical gear. Now back to the RPD. ADD break! So ahead of us, we have a line of White Claw who are representing people who apparently just don't like living under communism. They keep asking for food and shit. So today we're gonna show them what half of these RPDs were actually built for. Step away from the barrel end wall! Can never be too careful. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, they all seem pretty well taken care of to me. So for the 80th time on this channel, 7.62 will penetrate a White Claw and enemies of the state. So let's talk manual of arms. So the Chinese have finally invaded. Well, if you're in the PC 2012 Red Dawn universe. So the North Koreans have finally invaded. You've gotten your hands on a full auto RPD and now you need to know how to use it. Well, glad I can help. First off here, you have your drum. Although it does not operate like normal drums. See, with a normal like magazine-fed firearm, you're going to have a drum magazine on the bottom that directly feeds into the gun itself. The RPD's drum is more of just an ammo can. You see that this it's not a magazine with a spring, it just kind of holds the belted ammo. Now, the RPD functions on non-disintegrating belts, like so. The Soviets really liked non-disintegrating links. They use them in the RPD, the Dishka, and the PKM, all of which very rad firearms. Where NATO liked to use disintegrating links, like on the M60, for example. Well, yeah. If you want to see Bill Goldberg shoot an M60, you can watch that video. So we've got our release back here, flip that upward, and then the drum drops freely here. So anyway, flipping it over, of course, this gun operates on an open bolt. So we have our charging handle here, which flips down like so. Pull it back, and then the bolt stays to the rear. Now we're gonna push our charging handle back forward because we're nice and polite. Flip that back up. Also worth pointing out, we've got the world's cutest little dust cover here. Look at that. He thinks he's helping. Especially funny when you consider, like all other Degtyarev guns, the bottom is completely cut the fuck open. The entire operating system of the gun is visible. Like the whole mechanism of the gun is very clearly open on the bottom. Same with right around the, gas block, gas piston. But you know what? They thought this tiny little dust cover was gonna help. Which, you know what? Maybe it did. Who am I to question Degtyarev? He was a legend and I am a YouTuber. Anyhow, now that our bolt is back and theoretically you have the starter tab all the way through, so the ammunition is loaded as we did earlier, you're gonna have to flip your safety off. So we're gonna put our safety in the on position here. It's just an 180-degree swivel here. So I actually kind of like this. This is the one thing, getting more familiar with this gun, I did actually like, is it's right there where if you have good trigger discipline, your finger is going to be anyway. So if you're trying to flip it off of safety, all you have to do is that number there and you are good and you are ready to fire. Now when it comes to disassembly here, we have this little piece in the rear of the dust cover, or well, top cover, I guess, on a light machine gun. We're gonna push this forward and this whole top cover mechanism is going to come up like so. We now have access to the inner workings of the gun itself. Another thing I wanted to mention is how the RPD smells. Smells like if you wanted to get your start in gunsmithing and weapons technology, you could check out SDI in the links in the description and in the pinned comment. We appreciate them for helping make this video possible. So you see, just like a lot of the other machine guns we've been talking about lately, we have the same little roller here. Everything is MG42. It always has been. Check out that dust cover. Looks like we might have taken some inspiration from a few places. Enter disc MG42. Anyway, also sorry for the torrential downpour if that comes across in the microphone. It's storming here in Texas. Anyhow, I pull the trigger here and that releases the bolt, which sends that forward. Basically, again, open bolts, a lot of times the trigger just is there to get out of the way of the bolt so that the bolt can freely go back and forth and, fire until you're out of ammo or political prisoners. And now, it's time for me to rant about machine guns. So I know this is gonna sound like fucking Cadillac problems, first world problems, bullshit. Machine guns are in a constant state of being fucking broken all the time. And if you ever buy a machine gun from somebody, there is a fucking 80% chance it's fucking broken. Even if it's not broken, even if it runs, which this one clearly does, there is something wrong with it. Like it's not, It's like if there's a drop dead gorgeous supermodel quality woman that's genuinely interested in you, all of your hobbies, she's either a dude or a fed. So problem 1, to further disassemble this gun, I need an Allen key. No, the RPD does not require an Allen key to disassemble. So why the fuck do I? Well, in part of the conversion of this, for whatever reason, instead of the standard disassembly method, I now have to disassemble this gun using this Allen screw here, which I'm going to pull somewhat of the way out, and then use this as a push point to pop this out, this side. I can pull the screw out. RPDs did not come with these screws. Now I can pop this pin out of the left side here. There we go. And now the lower, for lack of a better word, can come out of the gun. We've got our lower here and our cleaning rod in the side. And again, like I said, with a lot of open bolt guns, the trigger, just the only purpose it serves is to get out of the way. As opposed to a lot of other weapons like the AKs, the ARs, whatever, where the trigger activates a hammer that slams forward and fires the firing pin. Open bolts just kind of slam back and forth. So we can now take our bolt out. And here we are. I'll get that later. So this is very much reminiscent, if you recall, of the DPM. It's a Deg-Terev gun. They're pretty much all the same, whether it's the DPM, the Dishka, the RPD. He really liked his long stroke gas piston with an exposed piston up front, and flapper lock. So we have our bolt here, which is where the firing pin is housed and where the cartridge actually sits when it goes into the chamber. And on the back side, the part that locks in place and stops this from exploding, we have 2 flappers. So when this locks into battery, it pushes these out. So these then lock against part of the receiver here. We have locking lugs in the receiver that stop the bolt from going backward under the firing pressure of 7.62 by 39. A really neat feature of this particular RPD. The RPD is designed to have these 2 flappers that lock and prevent the gun from exploding. This particular RPD only locks on one of them. Straight up, the other one's just free willy. It doesn't even make any fucking contact on the locking surface. Considering that the locking flaps are the only parts that are there to make sure that this gun doesn't explode and have a catastrophic malfunction, that's not good. You know what's even worse? The one lug that it was locking on is out of headspace, which means I was very nervous shooting this gun for the entire video. I've hit on this in other videos in the past about how sometimes, you know, we will acquire a gun for a video and it takes us a long time to just repair said gun to the point where we can use it in a video. This time we just said fuck it. But machine guns basically are just constantly trying to you know, Epstein themselves. And it's just a combination of people who don't know how to build machine guns, people who don't know how to convert machine guns, or people who simply just don't care as long as it runs. Mix that in with guns that were actually built well, but have been running for tens of thousands of rounds or hundreds of thousands of rounds sometimes, and you know, old shit just sometimes wears out. So we do plan on rebuilding this at some point to make sure that this is actually safe to fire and keep in my collection, but I figured you guys would appreciate the candid look into what it's actually like in the machine gun market in the US sometimes. Sorry, I just had to get that rant over with. Yes, this is a long stroke gas operated flapper lock system, much like Deg-Terev really enjoys doing. TLDR, it's a little dishka. So now to reassemble after you've cleaned it, which you have cleaned it, haven't you? It's a dirty girl, you should probably clean it. You put the locking flaps in their upright and locked position, or well, unlocked I suppose, and you slide this thing right on in, like so. Your charging handle assembly has 2 kind of raised areas here that correspond with 2 cutaways here in the side of the receiver, so then you install those. So now that we fit that in, everything is allowed to ride forward, and we are ready to reinstall the lower. We have to be careful with this little op rod here, because this is the recoil spring assembly, essentially. Now we put these in the lower rails. You make sure to put this little op rod into the back of the bolt, and we can verify there is spring tension on the bolt, so that's a good sign. Take our pin here, put it in the side of the gun, push it through. Take our Allen screw on the other side, because this is a ghetto rebuild. Pray for Papa Deg-Terev's forgiveness as we screw this nice and tight. And voila, we have rebuilt a semi-functional RPD. Yeah, that'll put hair on your chest. Unless you're a lady. Which, let's face it, ladies don't watch this channel. More importantly, that ladies on the internet just aren't real. Don't be fooled. Those are dudes. Anyhow, guys, that is the RPD. This is a video that I've been wanting to do for you guys for a while, so it's cool to finally get it knocked out. If there's any other guns in my collection, or guns that maybe aren't in my collection yet, that you guys would like to see video breakdowns on, please let me know down in the comments. Hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you'd like to see future content, go ahead and subscribe, and make sure, if you think you're already subscribed, to double check, because YouTube does that weird thing where they unsubscribe people from me every now and again. I wonder why. Bigger and better and more controversial videos on the horizon, so I'm looking forward to it, guys. You can pick up your sweet Texas AK merch, as well as the other stuff we've got up on Bunker Branding. Links in the description and in the pinned comment. Thank you guys so much for watching and keeping the lights on, and I will see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video. Thanks. Is that a fucking ice cream truck? I think it's a fucking ice cream truck. Step away from the Berlin Wall! Ah, fuck, I was on safety, shit. Hey, fuck me. It's been a long week, all right? So our drum here acts a lot more like just kind of an ammo can. So behind the drum, we have this lever here that we can push upward, and then it free releases. Fuck it. So our drum here acts a lot more like an ammo can. So we've got a lever right here behind the drum, flip that upward, and then the drum fuck. So we've got our release here, which you flip that upward, and then the drum go home. You're gonna have to flip your safety off.